Liz of Art from Scrappy Mania, and today I'm going to create another layout for my wedding album that I'm creating for a friend. And I want to show you the papers that I've been using for this whole album. Her theme for her wedding is burlap, lace, and blue jeans. It's going to be, they're going to use, she's going to be wearing cowboy boots beneath her dress and cowboy hats and things like that. So I really wanted to kind of make the album with that casual but elegant lacy feel. So this, this is one of the pages, and if you've been following me along, you've seen the other pages that I have been composing. And the papers that I'm using, I really love this Vintage Country Recollection paper pad. I got this at Michael's, and I really like it because it actually comes with real burlap papers. And I'll show you in a minute what I do with this. Now this paper is actually fabric that's been fused on a paper back, so you really cannot use thin dies to cut it. I tried to use one of my Spellbinder thin dies to create a lacy kind of cut in order to use here. It did not work, so you cannot use those thin dies. However, it works perfect for your steel wool dies, and as you can see, I created a flower with that. So this is the Tim Holtz Tattered Rose. Okay, and I created that gorgeous little flower there using a combination of lace and pearls and some twine, or the leftover of the burlap pieces of flowers that I've created in the past. And then I also use this one, and this is actually the Floral Layers 3 from Sizzix. So it cuts very nice with this. I also bought the Tim Holtz steel wool dies, the alphabet one, and that will also work very well. So that's the only thing you're going to be able to use to cut these out. Either you can cut it by hand. You also could use the Cricut at a, you put maximum pressure, make sure you have a nice deep blade and it's nice and sharp, and you can cut this, but it's a little tougher. It's like cutting fabric. It is fabric, just with a paper backing. So the flowers that I created here was using the die. Now, I have a lot of tutorials on YouTube on how to create flowers, so basically I did not show you how to create this one, but I just took the flowers, I embossed it a little bit, as you can see there. It was embossed, and I just layered them with a little bit of lace. So I cut some lace here. I got, a whole tray full of lace, so I cut some of this. And I just put little pieces on there. And you can also use that lace to cut, you can use your die to cut out your lace. And that's what I've done here. I have some flowers that I cut out using the die. However, once I cut it out, you can still use a lot of this. You just could put it in the flower. Here's one of the flowers that was cut out of the lace. But you can just put flower, you don't have to use the die. You can cut a circle on your lace and just lay it there. Now this here was done with this. This is part of leftover burlap that I pulled out to create flowers. Now I have a tutorial how to create this flower with burlap. These are great for creating topiaries or for adorning boxes and things like that, but they're not that good for scrapbook albums because it is very thick, and I do not want to create a very thick layout because I really don't want this to be like 10 inches thick when I give it to her. So I stayed away from this, but I really love this flower. So then I decided to, if you see me using these how to create these flowers, you pull some of the thread off, and this was the leftover from pulling those thread. And I'll put the link for the video so you can see what I'm talking about. But don't throw this away. These are perfect accent pieces for your layouts. So that's what I use for here. And then I do have some flat back pearls. I got this at Hobby Lobby, a big old container full of these. So I got these flat back pearls, and that's what I use for the centers of my flowers. And I also created a small little one here, so you can see there. And then I used my Birds and Blooms from from Heartfelt Creations, and I put a little birdie there. I made like a pretend nest. I just took some of that twine or that burlap and just made a little circle and made, you know, put a lot of glue to make this little hot mess. And then I put the center, I used a flower to kind of make sure that I had something to glue on my my threads. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video. Oh, and also another thing I'm using is this Martha Stewart die. It's a punch. So the one that cuts around a circle and creates a doily. So I used that in the back, and I glimmer mist it. And I try to get the colors that will match with the layout, and I think I did a pretty good job with that. I also go ahead and tied a bow on here, and I put some, you want to put a little bit of glue because you don't want this bow unraveling on them later on. And I also have, this is part of a die from Heartfelt Creation, so I went ahead and cut some of those and put that there. And the paper, let's see, the background paper is just some brown cardstock that I found in my stash that really goes together very nicely. So I'm going to start composing the page, and I hope you like it. Layout. Now, I did not like, once I dropped the color, this liquid gilding fluid or by Martha Stewart, I didn't like it because it creates like that orange. Let me show you. It creates that orange halo, and I just didn't like it. So I try to use pearls, but I don't have smaller than this. It would have been nice if I had a little tiny pearls. I don't have them. I do have them somewhere in my craft room. I don't know where they're at, but so that's why, you know, sometimes I like to pull things out when I'm creating pages, especially album, because I waste a lot of time trying to find my stuff. So so that's why I decided just to use these rhinestones. These rhinestones have a little bit of blue tint to it, so I really love those rhinestones. So this is my page, and I hope you like it and I've inspired you. It's very simple, and thank you for watching. Bye now.